Hello? Hello?
You have it ready? Okay, what do you got for me?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, first Emmys.
You're my top person on the job.
Yeah, totally can do that.
I'm ready to give you my next.
Yeah. I'll have that to you in 5. Okay. Talk soon.
Yeah, talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. This one might be controversial. Emmy, 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 Emmy. Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the first Emmys. One of the first nominations for the Emmys was a movie called Christopher Columbus. The category is Best Film Adapted to Television. Some of these are anthology and some of these are a full film. So many of these were recorded live, which is why we don't really have copies of many of them, and it's really difficult to find. Thankfully, there are some resources in the area that have helped me be able to find a couple that we're doing in the next couple of weeks. But just so you know, it's like really sad that a lot of these films and parts of our history are just slowly disappearing. And they're probably in somebody's basement if they are recorded, just collecting dust. The Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Pretty cool, I guess. Basically, a guy named Sid Cassidy was like, hey, television seems to be pretty important, and since it's going in people's homes, we should make sure it's like good. However, his goal was not entertainment. It was more based in education. He was like, yeah, I have daughters that I want to make sure that if they're watching TV, that there's at least something educational going on. He was originally not a big fan of the awards. Because of this, whenever people were like, hey, we should have awards for this thing, he was like,
no, that's stupid. Why would you even say that?
and they were like,
But we worked really hard.
and he's like,
Fine, I guess we can do an award.
At this time, because television was so new and film was the predominant mode of entertainment, there was a lot of conflict between what people could do in Hollywood versus what they could do for television, and it was almost seen as like taking a step down to work in television. And I think some people still view it that way. Starting in the 60s, there's definitely a lot more crossover as like the studio system disintegrated, and now we're into this place where there's a lot more flexibility, and it's kind of morphing into this thing with streaming where it's like, well, what's going to be seen and does it really matter? In terms of the awards themselves, they're the Primetime Emmy Awards. When they were coming up with the name, they were called the Ike Awards, and then they were like, well, Emmy might fit better with this because of the imaging technology that was used within television, and they were like, but could it be a girl? Could it be a girl? And so then they named it Emmy. And so this is Emmy. Isn't she beautiful? One thing you might not know is the Emmys were actually only available for submissions by people and studios who were within Los Angeles themselves. There was also other competitors within New York that had like their own version of the Academy, but then later they end up coming together and being bought out and all that kind of stuff. We'll get into that as that comes. There's kind of like an East Coast, West Coast competition within who has television access as well as who's broadcasting television. So here's where it may or may not be controversial. I know that a lot of people have feelings about Christopher Columbus as a person. Fair, valid, most likely true. However, we're not going to focus on him. We're going to focus on the movie that is based on him. We'll have plenty to discuss about during the film. However, what I think is interesting is actually the production side of this movie. It was kind of a train wreck from the start. They were like, we really want to break into Hollywood. We want to get our name in there and make sure that we're standing out. The replicas that they ended up building of the ships burned down and cost like $100,000, 100,000 euros, more. Do the math there. The main guy who plays Christopher Columbus, his name is Frederick March, and he was like super jazzed. He was like, this is gonna be such a good part. Can't wait, put me in. And then as he got in and all of the chaos started happening, he was like,
Oh no. What am I doing?
by the end, everybody was just kind of like, yeah, it was bad from the start. So, oops, let's take a look at this movie and see if it's everything that they said it was. Here we go. Gainsborough picture. I think they're English. Color by Technicolor. I do like a tasteful opening credit sequence. What he wanted, but not what he needed. He said, got you. Don't talk to me about that. Keep that to yourself. Oh, that's so British. I love that. The Queen. She said, I don't have time for that. Yeah, maybe, but also they're not yours. You tell him. What a crazy question to end with. Are you married? The idea of nationalism within all of this is so high. They're like, yeah, we need to go claim this land because then it's ours. You think there's not gonna be anybody else? And that if there are other people that you have a right to all their stuff? And no, colonism, not great. If it's a place you already own, does that make it less bad? Probably not. If you guys are sure that the earth is a sphere, I don't believe that. But if you guys are, yeah, it's very self-centered. Oh, you want to do this thing wrong? Everybody is so straightforward. They're like, oh, I actually feel horrible about this. Oh, actually, why don't you just come meet me for dinner? Let's bring that back. Let's be a little bit more honest with each other. He's like, are you joking? Well, fair enough. Am I boring you? Yeah. You're beautiful now. Well, I was hoping you'd say something. She is all up in his business. Her dress does look like the dress from Barbie Swan Princess, and I want it. Gimme that. Tisk tisk. You need both, or neither. But if he already has enemies, I don't think he'd have a position in court. He's been saying that for years. What the? Oh, I think that's the king. Oh, petty. Nice. Pretty impressive ships, I will say. How much of this do you think is historically accurate? I didn't ask you. And that's on morale? Hot take. Christopher Columbus, Marty Supreme, the same guy. I will say this would be pretty scary if nobody had ever done it before. I get where the crew is like, yeah, this is terrifying. Plotting and scheming. Would you trust me with your life? Yeah. Well, your life is in danger. I love a choral song like this. Something that everybody just knows. A little a cappella. It's a good time. Oh! What did he say? The superiority complex of this man. Is it worth it? He's like, well, they're not coming after me anymore, so I might as well take a nap. And you know what? Relatable. He's in Full Metal. That's gotta be so hot. Yeah, you should be defending your lands. Absolutely. I am worried about how this next part is about to go, though. Please don't be racist. They're right there. They're, like, not even trying to hide. No. Cuba. It's a big ask. No. What the? Fair, but also, if you're bad at your job, you probably shouldn't do the job. Okay. Wild film. Let's talk about it. Let's get to it. Hey, yeah.
You have it ready?
Yeah. Things I think we should bring back.
Okay, what do you got for me?
I think just generally, whether this is in movies or not, I don't know. But being more blunt, there was no hiding from anybody. They were like, this is what I want. This is what I need. You knew everybody's intentions and what everybody wanted. And I think in some cases that can be a really good thing. There was also a lot of interesting cinematography, different angles that I wasn't expecting, and this probably would have been really difficult to film. Granted, I don't know how much is actually at sea versus optical illusions and stuff. Things that didn't really work for me. I mean, just like the subject matter generally. I think they approached it in a way that was interesting because for me, I never really liked Christopher Columbus. The fact that Christopher Columbus was a fleshed out character who just made decisions that were like, oh, well, I'm impatient. I thought that was good considering the Native American people and how they were represented, because I don't know, if someone were to come in on my land, I don't know if I would immediately be happy that other people were there. The fact that they were like, this is now Spain, and now all of the Native American people are so happy and so overjoyed to be part of us now. Like, that seems way over the top. Other than that, from a film perspective, I was expecting to see more errors considering how much they went through to make this movie. It makes sense to me that this is also something to get accolades, especially since Sid Cassidy was so high on education. I think it's one of those where it's like, oh, well, like, you know, this is based on a real thing. This is based on historical events, and so that's education going into the home.
What about the space?
A special guest?
That's it.
Wait, who is it?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just know.
Strangers on a Train.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Are you guys in for a treat?